Never, and I mean never, allow a man to take control of your finances. That is the easiest way to be left in a vulnerable ass situation where you're the one left having to figure everything out. Crazy enough, with narcissists in particular, and when you're dealing with narcissistic abuse, that is going to be one of the main things that they use to fuck you up. Because put it into perspective. You quit your job, you put aside your passions, you put aside your goals, and you embedded yourself into his lifestyle, which means at any given moment, he has the ability to stop your lifestyle. So if any given moment he starts feeling resentful towards you, he doesn't like you, you're on bad terms, all of a sudden your finances are starting to mess up and you can't take care of yourself in the same ways that you were before. That right there is a manipulation and a control tactic. And usually what happens is when they take that support underneath you, when they take it away from you, it's with the perception or the ideology that you're going to be stuck in that place of suffering, and you're going to run back to them and somewhat mold into what they're asking just so you have access back to the finances, right? But the moment that you at least understand your own finances or have something going for yourself, you no longer have that pull or that leverage over you. You can start making decisions as a autonomous, human, like just one vessel, for yourself. And it's such a touchy thing to like touch on, because when you deal with these type of narcissistic individuals, you get put in messes that you didn't ask for, and you didn't realize how much control you were giving to somebody else until the moment that you make this narcissist mad. That is something that a lot of people learn once it's too late. Man, like I've talked to women, literally, where they're like, man, I want to leave him, but I don't have no job, I don't have no finances, and I have a whole bunch of kids. I'm staying with his people. I don't even know how to get out of this situation. For example, like that. Meanwhile, he's across the world, you feel me, fucking on other bitches. Like, it's certain shit like that. It's little shit, and it doesn't always show in just, relationships. Giving anybody that level of financial control over you gives them the ability to want to fuck you over. It could be an employer. It could be a job. Like, it really doesn't matter. You give, and especially if it's a man, you give any man that amount of leverage over you. They use it to like a power constraint, because men like feeling like they're in control. Men like feeling like they have power over certain situations, or, the final saying, the end say so. So when you're put in a situation where you need them for finances, that's like an ego boost. Like some men like having things dependent on them, Like, don't get me wrong. You're supposed to protect and provide and all of that. But there's a difference between wanting to protect and provide so you genuinely see the people around you do better, versus wanting to protect and provide because it fulfills your ego and it makes you feel like you're in control. It makes you feel like you have a sense of power. Those are two different things. And yeah, this is for anybody out here. You just have to take control over your life. You have to do the things that's meant for you, that you love, and establish a certain level of independence. Because when you're codependent on anything, it's going to ruin you. It's going to send you into the dirt, emotionally, physically, spiritually. You have to detach. And yeah, I think that's the main, touch point on that one. There's so many other areas I can get into, because narcissists, it's crazy. Actually, I'm going to do that in this video. I think this is going to be like a full, just straight channel. Like, another aspect of narcissism is they'll smear you. It'll be like smear campaigns. Narcissists give a fuck a lot about their image. A lot. They care about the things that's being said about them. They care about how the world is perceiving who they are. So if you get in an instance where you may be in a position where you're right, or not necessarily right, but you're highlighting some of their flaws, some of their characteristics, they'll go out of their way to make it seem like you're the bad guy, you're the bad girl, whatever the case may be, before the word or the actual energy presents itself. It's like narcissistic people think like 10 steps ahead. They think in ways that's very strategic, where you're like, why are you doing this? But they're doing this because they saw their moves 5-10 steps forward, and they're trying to plant those seeds or pave their way for them to get their way. It's such a sick dynamic. Like, and it's making my chest heavy, even just talking about it, because I've dealt with narcissists, everywhere. Relationships, friends, family, work environments. I don't think that's something that we're ever going to be able to run away from or get away from. I think as empaths, it's probably best that we do have a balance, and there is some narcissists, right? Because that's what duality is about. But even that within itself is a very interesting dynamic when the narcissist runs into the empath. Because the narcissist is trying to break the empath, but the empath is trying to heal the narcissist. So it's this battle of push and pull, give and take. And crazy enough, the only thing that actually defeats quote unquote narcissists in this lifetime are the empaths, are the people who are able to take everything that they're giving them, hold that energy, and then kind of throw it back at them. Because if you weren't empathic, if you weren't able to see the good in them at all, their attacks on you would have actually did something. It would have actually affected you in a way that you couldn't have came back from. But since you do have that loving spirit, since you do have that loving, part of you, it's very hard for them to break you. It's very hard for them to get to a point where they can say you're defeated, because you look at every opportunity as an opportunity of introspection. When they throw this negative energy at you, you start asking why, what did it teach me, what is it showing me, and what am I going to do about it? Most people don't have that reaction to narcissists. They just get triggered. You see, narcissists, you will get triggered by the narcissist. You will get upset. You will get mad. You will show emotion. But the thing is, you will never break. That is the only distinguishing quality, because everybody on this planet has emotions and everybody on this planet goes through things. So when you're dealing with narcissistic ass people, you're going to have your crash out moments, but you're never going to break. You can crash out and not break. You can crash out and be in complete control of the crash out. That's the power that an empath has, because they understand their emotions. You guys understand your emotions. We understand our emotions. So we have it in us to push past it. But I've just noticed that the quickest way to spot a narcissist is somebody who wants too much control over others' paths. People who want their say-so to be the final say-so. People who think that their way of life or their perspectives is the only way that you can go about things. It's the only truths. Those are the people that you have to watch out for. The people who lack the ability to look outside the box. Because those are the situations that you're going to get put in the most jeopardizing energies. It's going to be those moments where you want to do something, you're trying to do something, you're trying to get to a certain place, and you're struggling to do so because of the control factors, the control tactics. Now, granted, if you're doing what these people want, what they're asking of you, then their control tactics mean absolutely nothing. Their control, you aren't necessarily affected by it as much. It's only when you go out of your way and you try doing what's meant for you that you're going to start running into this type of bullshit. You're going to start running into all these adversities and belittling jokes and everything else like that, because it's a lack of control. It's like control is shifting. That power dynamic is switching. And when the power dynamic switches with a narcissist, that triggers the fuck out of them, and that's probably going to make them very upset. And the moment that they get upset, the attacks it's just going to get a little bit worse. But in the process of them losing control, that means you have, like what I said at the beginning of the video, autonomy over self, and you aren't so codependent on the things around you, which allows you to make better decisions and, healthier decisions, and truly start living the life that you want to. Yeah, when you're an empath, narcissism, narcissistic traits and everything like that, that's going to be probably your biggest battle in life. Because what would life be if we didn't have just a little bit of spiritual warfare? What would this be if everything was just all love and light? There had to be people that didn't have the best intentions for us to learn the difference between good and bad, or evil and good, however the hell you want to say it. But yeah, man, I think that's it. I'm not pulling any last messages. Oh, I am actually. Don't allow yourself to be confused. Don't gaslight yourself into thinking that you don't see exactly what's happening. You're aware of what's happening and you see it clearly. But since you are aware of what's happening, you are no longer a victim, and you have it in your control and in your power to do something different. Go a different route. No contact is okay. No matter how much it hurts, no matter how much you want to cry, no matter how deep the emotion is. When you're dealing with certain things like that, when you're dealing with people who are trying to take control of your mind, it is best that you put as much distance as you can right there. The times that I wanted to control out, delete myself in my life was always when I was surrounded by people who were taking from me more than they were pouring into me. Those situations always left me questioning life within itself. So from trial and error and me fighting the urge to do certain things, when I get on these videos and I tell you guys, silence, distancing yourself, focusing on your goals, making something of yourself, releasing all codependency, etc., is one of the most liberating and powerful things that you will do in your life, especially after dealing with narcissists. Because after you've left a narcissist and you've dealt with a narcissistic situation, you're typically left very depleted. So yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it for this video. I think that's it for this channel. Of course, if you guys want, one-on-one, just to break down your different narcissistic, interactions or just life in general, you just need some perspective. You know who to hit up. Also have my books down there for y'all. Those are actually very introspective, and I talk about narcissism in the books and stuff. So yeah, man. Thank you guys for all of the support. All of my platforms have saw a spike over the last 30 days. So I love you guys. I really do. I mean this from the depths of my heart. Depths, I see like I'm choking up saying it. I love you guys so much. So yeah, man. I'm going to see you on the next video. Peace.